Best Zone Award.
Coming up next, the rest of LIBF Expo 2026.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
Himanta, Biswa, Sarma, good evening.
Good evening.
And everyone across the country watched your press conference yesterday.
Yes.
Now, you see, now that you've done the press conference, you've made some very, very damning allegations against Gaurav Gogoi.
Yes.
Are you doing it? First question, let's have it out of the way. Are you doing this because you're facing a huge test in your political career with the Assam elections coming up, and he's the person Rahul Gandhi is putting up against you?
Arnab, you know Assam. Even I produce a picture of Asim Munir and Gaurav Gogoi. Congress is not going to lose a single vote because whomever the vote, the section of people who vote for Gaurav Gogoi or Rahul Gandhi in Assam, in any case they will vote only Congress. From that press conference, neither I will gain one vote, neither I will lose one vote.
But you have said some amazing things.
Yes.
You said that you think that Gaurav Gogoi visited Pakistan on an invitation from the ISI. You have said he has gone there for specific training, and some specific training was given to him in Pakistan.
Arnab,
these are national security allegations,
yes,
sir.
Yes. Arnab, today Gaurav Gogoi did a press conference. I do not know whether you know it or no, do not know it. He has amplified my allegation. My allegation was that he got a visa for Lahore. Then next day when he arrived Lahore, Ministry of Interior Pakistan issued a letter that he can come to Karachi and Islamabad, but there was no visa for Rawalpindi. Today, in the press conference, he says that he went to Taxila, that is in Rawalpindi district, that is the headquarters of Pakistan Army, and there is no visa for visiting Rawalpindi. Now, India and Pakistan visa regime is such that it has to be city-centric. Today we put a question to Mr. Gaurav Gogoi that how can you visit the most secured place in Pakistan, that is called Rawalpindi, without a valid visa for that city? So if you Google, you will get immediate answer that an Indian citizen cannot go to Rawalpindi district of Punjab province without a valid visa. We have examined Gaurav Gogoi's visa.
But he says, I went to visit my wife. He says, I went to Pakistan.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Ishita Mitra, the show where we get you a roundup of all that has been making headlines throughout the day. Now, starting with the first story that we talk about, we discuss how the Tukre gang has now returned to the JNU campus, this time again raising anti-Brahmanism slogans with Kanhaiya Kumar at the center of this protest. Now, we also talk about how Chhatrapati Shivaji's comparison with Tipu Sultan has set off a political storm in Maharashtra. Now, with the police case now registered, protests intensifying and the controversy snowballing into a heated battle between Congress, AIMIM and the BJP. Now, we also talk about disturbing allegations coming to light from a sterilization camp in Madhya Pradesh, which have cast a shadow over the claims of improved rural healthcare. Now, at this camp, viewers, large-scale procedures were carried out under questionable conditions. One woman sterilized in just 2 minutes in unsafe condition. This has prompted demands for accountability and, of course, the questions on the state of healthcare infrastructure. Now, we also talk about a statewide security sweep in Maharashtra after the anti-terrorism squad conducted multiple raids at locations. Now, officials say the action is part of a probe into suspected efforts to radicalize and recruit young individuals from the state. And next up, we talk about an industrial incident in Karnataka which has turned fatal after a chemical storage unit exploded inside a factory premises. Now, rescue teams here responded swiftly while the investigators now examine whether or not negligence played a role here. And lastly, we talk about a distressing development has come to light. A 22-year-old student found dead in the United States. Now, he was reported missing earlier and now his body has been found in California. Officials are piecing together the sequence of the events as the case has sent shockwaves through the community. All that and more lined up for you ahead. Now, first up, Congress leader and former JNSU President Kanhaiya Kumar is once again at the center of a controversy. Now, Kumar here was seen raising slogans of Azaadi while playing a duffly during a public meet at Jawaharlal Nehru University campus. Now, this gathering was reportedly organized to protest the suspension of JNUSU office bearers who were allegedly involved in vandalizing a library biometric system. But the slogans has reignited a political debate, drawing sharp reactions on social media, while Congress is yet to issue any statement on this. Here are more details. Take a look.
Congress leader and former JNUSU President Kanhaiya Kumar sparked fresh controversy after raising Azaadi slogans at a public meeting inside the JNU campus. Holding a duffly, Kumar led chants that included Brahmanvad se Azaadi. The meeting was reportedly organized to protest the suspension of JNUSU officials accused of vandalizing a biometric attendance system inside the university library.
लेफ्ट वालों का जो रस्टिकेशन हुआ है उसके विरुद्ध ये वामपंथी संगठनों ने कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया था और उसके अंतर्गत जो जितने भी पुराने नक्सली यहाँ रहे हैं, वामपंथी यहाँ रहे हैं, उन सबको इकट्ठा किया था और इनको विरोध करना चाहिए सीपीओ मैनुअल का, जिसके कारण से यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट जो है रस्टिकेट हो रहे हैं, लाखों रुपए का फाइन लगाया जा रहा है, उसका विरोध करना चाहिए। लेकिन ये केवल अपनी राजनीति के लिए, अपने आकाओं को खुश करने के लिए ये लोग राजनीति कर रहे हैं, जबकि सीपीओ मैनुअल से न जाने कितने छात्र प्रताड़ित हो रहे हैं।
एजेंडा ही समाज को बांट के चलने का है, तभी ये अपनी अपीजमेंट या वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स कर पाएंगे। और वहीं दूसरी तरफ विद्यार्थी परिषद है जो सीपीओ मैनुअल के खिलाफ लड़ते हुए अब तक उस पर 4,83,000 रुपए का अब तक फाइन आ चुका है। 90 से ज़्यादा कार्यकर्ताओं के ऊपर प्रोक्टोरियल इंक्वायरी बैठी है और 10 से ज़्यादा कार्यकर्ताओं को सेमेस्टर रजिस्ट्रेशन में रोका गया।
The resurfacing of Azaadi slogans at JNU has once again reignited a familiar political flashpoint. So far, the Congress party has not issued an official statement regarding Kumar's participation in the demonstration. A revival of divisive campus politics, the latest episode at JNU has once again placed Kanhaiya Kumar at the heart of the political storm.
And now we are shifting focus. Tipu Sultan's comparison with the Chhatrapati Shivaji has triggered a political storm in the state of Maharashtra. Now, Pune police have registered a case against Maharashtra Congress president following a complaint by city BJP chief Dhiraj Khate over his remarks comparing Chhatrapati Shivaji with Tipu Sultan. Now, the remarks have sparked sharp political reactions across Maharashtra, with the BJP leaders and several Hindu organizations now alleging that the comparison has hurt religious sentiments. Now, the controversy is escalating into protests, counter statements and political sparring across parties. Here's a detailed report. Take a look.
A case against Maharashtra Congress chief Harshvardhan Sapkal has been registered after BJP leader Dheeraj Ghate filed a complaint alleging that Sapkal's remarks hurting Hindu sentiments.
काल पत्रकारांनी मला प्रश्न विचारत असताना विचारले की महामानवांचे आणि विशेष करून शिवाजी महाराज आणि टिपू सुलतान यांचे जे छायाचित्र आहे, प्रतिमा ज्या आहेत, या कार्यालयामध्ये लावण्यात याव्यात अशी मागणी होत आहे. याकडे आपण कसे बघता? या प्रश्नाच्या उत्तरादाखल माझं जे उत्तर होतं ते हे होतं की शिवाजी महाराजांनी जो स्वराज्याचा विचार दिला त्याचा आदर्श हा टिपू सुलतानने घेतला आणि टिपू सुलताननी तो आदर्श घेऊन इंग्रजांच्या विरोधात ते लढले आणि त्या अनुषंगाने या प्रतिमा ज्या आहेत ह्या सोबत लागण्याच्या अनुषंगाने समकक्षतेच्या अनुषंगाने माझं हे वक्तव्य केलेलं आहे.
The BJP staged protests outside Congress Bhavan in Pune condemning the statement. Tensions flared during demonstrations with reports of sloganeering, chaos and stone pelting as rival groups clashed. The controversy deepened after AIMIM chief and MP Asauddin Owaisi compared Tipu Sultan with Veer Savarkar, stating that Tipu Sultan was martyred while fighting the British.
क्या टीपू सुल्तान ने श्रीनगरी मठ में फौज आई थी? कहां से आई थी फडणवीस बोलेंगे आपको, मैं बोलूंगा तो फिर फौज आकर सोने का एक पुतला था उस मंदिर में लूट के लेके चले गए, शारदा देवी का. टीपू ने वहां पर मंदिर को तामीर करवाया, ग्रांट लिखे. 1791 जुलाई 6 को टीपू ने खत लिखा था मेलकोटे को. मेलकोटे की मंदिर के बारे में उसमें लिखा गया, आज भी जाकर देख सकते. बादशाह था टीपू, टीपू डेमोक्रेट नहीं था.
The political temperature rose further when a BJP leader in Ahilyanagar announced a reward of 10 lakh for anyone who would cut off Sapkal's tongue. Hindu organizations along with BJP workers intensified protest. In Malegaon, Samajwadi Party leader and deputy mayor Shane-in-Nihal Ahmed said that like Rani Lakshmibai, Tipu Sultan too fought against the British. After pressure from all sides, a portrait of Tipu Sultan was removed from the Malegaon deputy mayor's office. Amid the uproar, party leaders and workers presented a fish portrait of Tipu Sultan to Malegaon Mayor Nasreen Sheikh, a move that further fueled tensions. Shiv Sena spokesperson Krishna Hegde alleged that Tipu Sultan was responsible for atrocities against the Hindus, intensifying the political divide.
और यहाँ पर टिप्पू सुल्तान जैसे शासक का फोटो लगाना, इस पर हमारी बड़ी आपत्ति है. टिप्पू सुल्तान ने हिंदुओं को मुसलमान बनाने की कोशिश की, कन्वर्जन करने की कोशिश की. वो हिंदुओं के खिलाफ था. हमारे आदर्श छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज और छत्रपति संभाजी महाराज ये धर्म रक्षक थे और ऐसे टिप्पू सुल्तान का फोटो मालेगांव म्युनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन के कैबिन में जो उपमहापौर ने लगाया, इसको शासन जल्द से जल्द निकालना चाहिए.
However, Shiv Sena group leader Nilesh Ahir stated that Tipu Sultan's fight against the British is a historical fact acknowledged by many.
हमारे कुछ शिव सैनिक यहाँ पर आए थे, हम खुद भी आए और देखा कि वहाँ पर सही में टीपू सुल्तान का फोटो लगा हुआ था. ये बात शहर के सभी आवाम को अच्छी नहीं लगी और शासन के जो कोई रीति रिवाज, जो प्रोटोकॉल थे, जो फोटो लगनी चाहिए जिन महापुरुषों के, वो वहाँ पर नहीं थे. इसकी वजह से आज हमने आयुक्त महोदय को यहाँ पर निवेदन देने आए हैं और उपमहापौर इनका यहाँ पर निषेध करने आए हैं.
As political parties trade charges and counter charges, this comparison has been snowballed into a full-blown political flashpoint in Maharashtra.
And now viewers, in Madhya Pradesh, where the government claims to be strengthening healthcare in tribal regions, shocking visuals have come to light from Dhar. They tell a very different story. Now at a sterilization camp in Bagh, more than 175 tribal women were allegedly operated without basic facilities. The images here raise disturbing questions about medical ethics, accountability and humanity itself. Let's get a better glimpse of this story through this report.
These are not scenes from a disaster zone. This is a government sterilization camp in Bagh, a tribal area of Dhar district in Madhya Pradesh. Nearly 180 tribal women arrived at the community health center on Friday, many with children and relatives for family planning procedures. But what awaited them? No proper seating, no adequate drinking water, and after surgery, even no beds. Women who had just undergone sterilization were left lying on the floor, some in contaminated water, others under the scorching sun, women being treated worse than cattle.
गांव के बाई उनको लेके आए पेशेंट को.
कितनी बजे आ गए थे यहाँ?
सर 8 साढ़े 8 बजे तक आ गए थे.
कितने बजे शुरू हुआ यहाँ पर ये शिविर?
ये तो चल ही रहा सर, आए तब से चल ही रहा, पर धीरे धीरे वो तो बहुत सारे बाई होने हैं तो टाइम तो लग ही रहा.
जो नीचे लेटी है महिलाएं परेशान हो रही है, गर्मी लग रही है, टेंट भी लगा.
हाँ वो तो नहीं मिल रही है, नहीं मिल रही है तो सुविधा पूरी नहीं मिल रही.
पीने का पानी की क्या व्यवस्था है?
नहीं, पानी भी अभी खत्म हो गया. 2 ड्रम लाए थे तो खत्म हो गया, अभी भी नहीं.
Family members could be seen fanning them with pieces of cloth as women writhed in pain. But the most shocking revelation here lies in the numbers. A single private doctor, Dr. Rakesh Dawar, reportedly arrived at 3 p.m. and was assigned nearly 180 sterilization procedures. Hospital officials claimed one sterilization was being completed in just 2 minutes. The time, just 2 minutes.
सर डॉक्टर बड़वाने से बुलवाया है, डॉक्टर राकेश डावर. ये सर्जन है, 2 मिनट में एक ऑपरेशन कर देते हैं. तो हमारे 175 केस है, कम से कम 3-3.5 घंटे में पूरा कर देंगे.
इसके पहले क्या क्या जांचें करेंगे?
इसके पहले हमने जांच कराई, प्रेगनेंसी टेस्ट करवाया, बीपी लिया, खून की जांच करवाई, शुगर बीपी दोनों करवाया. फिर उसके बाद महिला को वहाँ ऑपरेशन के लिए भेजा. वहाँ पे महिला को इंजेक्शन लगता है टेस्ट के लिए.
Adding to the controversy, the Chief Block Medical Officer Dr. Veer Bahadur Singh Mawal was not even present at the camp. He reportedly arrived only after learning that the media had reached the center and he claimed that he was attending a meeting.
175 के आसपास हुए केस हमारे पास अभी टोटल. वो क्या होता है कि कि हर हफ्ते मेरे पास सर्जन की अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं हो पाती, इसीलिए वही लोग अगर इकट्ठे आते तो फिर इकट्ठे करवाना पड़ते हैं. सर्जन मेरे पास जो डॉक्टर डावर आते हैं वो बड़वानी से आते हैं, तो इसलिए हमें सर्जन की प्रॉब्लम्स आती है हमेशा. तो और ये लोग क्या है कि अब गर्मी का सीज़न आ जाएगा, गर्मी के बाद केसेस हो भी नहीं पाएंगे, इसलिए हमें इकट्ठे करते हैं.
जिले में सर्जन की अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं है क्या सर?
सर्जन की अवेलेबिलिटी है, लेकिन क्या होता है कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट से लंबा पड़ता है ना, इतनी दूर सर्जन आते नहीं. ये क्या है कि एलटीडी कैम्प करने के लिए प्राइवेट हायर करते हैं हम लोग सर्जन से. ये भी जैसे गवर्नमेंट सर्जन नहीं हमारे पास, प्राइवेट सर्जन हायर करने पड़ते हैं. पे ऑफ करके इनको बुलाया जाता है.
After the issue surfaced, Chief Medical Health Officer termed the violations illegal. The block medical officer has been attached to the district headquarters and further action, officials say, will follow as per rules. And the larger question remains, when healthcare becomes a number game and surgeries are reduced to speed targets, who takes the responsibility of putting people's lives at risk?
And now viewers, in a major counter-terror operation and a crackdown on terror, the Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad conducted raids across 21 locations in the state. Now the search operation was launched following the inputs coming in about attempts made to influence and radicalize youth through suspected terrorist organizations. Now viewers, as part of these raids, several mobile phones, electronic gadgets have been seized, but no arrests have been made so far. These raids were in fact made at 2 locations, including Ahilyanagar and Yavatmal. Here are more details on this anti-terror crackdown underway in the state of Maharashtra. Take a look.
The Maharashtra Anti-Terrorism Squad launched a major operation across multiple districts in the state. Raids were conducted at 14 locations in the Pusad and Umagd area of the Yavatmal district, while 7 additional locations were searched in Ahilyanagar. The operation was initiated following specific intelligence inputs suggesting that terrorist organizations were allegedly attempting to mobilize and influence youth. ATS teams began simultaneous search across 21 locations across Maharashtra. Security agencies say that the investigation is ongoing and further action will be taken based on evidence gathering during the raids. Authorities maintain that the searches are part of preventive security measures and more details are expected as the probe progresses. With concerns over youth radicalization under scrutiny, the statewide ATS operation marks a significant crackdown.
And now viewers, tragic news coming to light from the state of Karnataka. This is where a chemical storage tank exploded at a factory in Mandya, killing about 2 workers on the spot and is seriously injuring 3 others. Now, a formal case has been registered and investigation is currently underway to understand whether or not there was negligence which turned this industrial accident fatal for workers. Here are more details on this. Take a look.
A deadly accident unfolded at Kirti Chemical Industries near Karkat village in Mandya Taluk. Workers were attempting to open a chemical storage tank using a gas cutter when the tank exploded, killing 2 on the spot. 3 others were seriously injured and rushed to Mandya Institute of Medical Sciences for treatment.
8:45 ನಮಗೆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆದ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬಂತು. ಆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನು ಸೌಂಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ವಿಚಾರಿಸಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನಾಹುತ ಆಗದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು. ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಬಾಡಿ ಇದೆ.
ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಆಗಿ?
4 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು?
ಹಿಂದೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಲೀಕೇಜ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಸಲ್ಫ್ರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್. ಅದು ಅಪಾರ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದ ಬೆಳೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸುಟ್ಟೋಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಸ್ಮ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ನಾವು ರೈತರು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮೇರೆಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು.
Authorities say 2 remain in critical condition. Following the blast, several workers reportedly fled the scene. The police from Basaralu police station arrived promptly and are collecting details about the deceased and the injured. Meanwhile, a formal case has been registered and an investigation is currently underway. The factory was in the process of relocating to a new site and the relocation work had been ongoing for over a month. The workers, reportedly brought in from Bihar, were emptying chemical tanks when the explosion occurred. Shockingly, this isn't the first accident at this facility. 4 years ago, a chemical leak damaged hundreds of acres of crops and had killed 2 dogs. No human casualties were reported then, but the incident sparked strong public opposition.
And now viewers, the tragic death of Saket Srinivasaya, 22-year-old Indian postgraduate student from Tumakuru in Karnataka, has deeply shocked Indian student community in the United States, his family, friends and officials as well. Now enrolled in a master's program in chemical and biomolecular engineering at the prestigious University of California, Berkeley, Saket was reported missing on February 9th. And after last being seen near the campus approximately a kilometer away. An intensive search operation involving local police, emergency services and community members ensued, culminating in the recovery of his body on February 14th from Lake Anza. Now, officials are investigating as to what exactly caused the death of the student here, circumstances surrounding his death, and this case is now being treated as an apparent suicide. Here are more details to this. Take a look.
A 22-year-old Indian student in the United States was discovered dead in California several days after he went missing, leaving his community and authorities deeply shaken. Saket Srinivasaya from Karnataka was pursuing a master's degree in chemical and biomolecular engineering at the University of California in Berkeley.
Saket Srinivasaya, an Indian origin who was studying in the University of Berkeley located in San Francisco, went missing on February 9th. After which his parents, who are staying in Bengaluru's Gittada Konenahalli, reached out to the Karnataka state government to seek the help of the office from the San Francisco and the University of Berkeley. After which the Chief Secretary of Karnataka government, Shalini Rajneesh, wrote a letter to the Embassy of San Francisco and California to request to find the missing person Saket.
He was reported missing on February 9th after last being seen near the Lake Anza and Berkeley Hills area. Local police launched a citywide search, focusing on areas around Tilden Regional Park and Lake Anza. This after his backpack containing his passport and laptop was found near a residential doorway close to the park. Community members also took to online platforms launching search campaigns for Saket. However, the Indian consulate in San Francisco has now confirmed that local police recovered his body on Saturday. The consulate also pledged full support for repatriation of his remains to India at the earliest. The Ministry of External Affairs reiterated ongoing efforts to safeguard Indian students abroad, including regular contact with students and free departure orientation on risks and precautions overseas. The circumstances surrounding Srinivasa's disappearance and deaths remain under investigation, with authorities continuing to piece together the events leading up to his disappearance last week. Probe is on for Saket's death under mysterious circumstances. Srinivasaya was among the 6 to hold a patent for inventing a microchannel cooling system for Hyperloop and a method thereof per his LinkedIn profile.
All right, viewers, with that, we come to the end of 6 Stories at 6 with me, Shada Mitra. Thank you so much for watching and stay tuned to Republic. News and developments continue on the other side.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आरती मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
I am absolutely fed up, like you are, I'm sure, with the U-turns of the BCCI and the ICC and cricket politics. And I feel bad, like every citizen of India does, that these people, because they want to make some money over cricket, are ready to compromise the nation. Terrible. Pakistan has taken another magnificent U-turn in its decision to not play, not play, keep changing its mind, ladies and gentlemen. First they say they stand with Bangladesh, then they said we stand with them so much that we don't participate in the World Cup. Then they put Shehbaz Sharif in front and he said we've taken a clear decision not to play cricket with India because we are backing Bangladesh. Listen to what Shehbaz Sharif said.
T20 World Cup जो है उस हवाले से हमने बड़ा वाज़ेह स्टैंड लिया है कि हम हिंदुस्तान के ख़िलाफ़ जो मैच है वो हम नहीं खेलेंगे, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान ने कहा कि ये खेल का मैदान है, ये सियासत नहीं है। खेल के मैदान में सियासत बिल्कुल नहीं होनी चाहिए। हमने एक बड़ा सोच समझ के हमने स्टैंड लिया है और इस हवाले से हमें बांग्लादेश के साथ पूरी तरह खड़े होना चाहिए।
That's what he said 8 days back. Now he's changed his line 8 days later. Now he's saying that the government of Pakistan is now directing the Pakistan national team to take the field on February 15th for the scheduled fixture against India in the T20 World Cup. Now, viewers, my point is, let the Pakistanis do what the hell they want to do. Who cares? But what is the BCCI doing? What is the ICC doing? What is Rajiv Shukla doing? What is this paid executive Sanjog Gupta doing? Why are we allowing Pakistan to do the U-turn. We should have never given them a long rope. We should have caught them and said, no, you said you're not playing, now you don't play. We should have embarrassed them. We should have made life hell for them. We should have reined in the Pakistanis. But no, you see in our country, some people are so desperate, like Rajiv Shukla, so desperate to play cricket with Pakistan. Why, Rajiv Shukla, do you want to play cricket with Pakistan? You have no history of cricket. But Rajiv Shukla says, we agree with the ICC. We cannot comment on what the ICC is doing. And then he says, ICC, BCCI has nothing to do with what Shehbaz Sharif is saying. Well, let me tell you, the ICC has given in to Pakistan. And I feel bad. This fellow, Sanjog Gupta, who is the ICC CEO, earlier was a TV executive, ladies and gentlemen, in the same company. Now, this man, Sanjog Gupta, puts out a statement trying to placate Pakistan, trying to placate Bangladesh. And now they are sitting on the negotiating table with Pakistan.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
Himanta, Biswa, Sarma, good evening.
Good evening.
And everyone across the country has watched your press conference yesterday.
Yes.
Now, you see, now that you've done the press conference, you've made some very, very damning allegations against Gaurav Gogoi.
Yes.
Are you doing it? First question, let's have it out of the way. Are you doing this because you're facing a huge test in your political career with the Assam elections coming up, and he's the person Rahul Gandhi is putting up against you?
Arnab, you know Assam. Even I produce a picture of Asim Munir and Gaurav Gogoi. Congress is not going to lose a single vote because whomever the vote, the section of people who vote for Gaurav Gogoi or Rahul Gandhi in Assam, in any case, they will vote only Congress. From that press conference, neither I will gain one vote, neither I will lose one vote.
But you have said some amazing things.
Yes.
You said that you think that Gaurav Gogoi visited Pakistan on an invitation from the ISI. You have said he has gone there for specific training, and some specific training was given to him in Pakistan.
Arnab,
these are national security allegations,
yes,
sir.
Yes. Arnab, today Gaurav Gogoi did a press conference. I do not know whether you know it or no, do not know it. He has amplified my allegation. My allegation was that he got a visa for Lahore. Then next day when he arrived Lahore, Ministry of Interior Pakistan issued a letter that he can come to Karachi and Islamabad, but there was no visa for Rawalpindi. Today, in the press conference, he says that he went to Taxila, that is in Rawalpindi district, that is the headquarters of Pakistan Army, and there is no visa for visiting Rawalpindi. Now, India and Pakistan visa regime is such that it has to be city-centric. Today we put a question to Mr. Gaurav Gogoi that how can you visit the most secure place?
Hi there, welcome back to your favorite deep dive show on stories contemporary and consequential for India. This week would see the who's who from the tech world rub shoulders with the policy and governance elite from 100+ countries in New Delhi as part of the Global AI Impact Summit. The event is happening in the shadow of a development in artificial intelligence, which is being variously described as magnitude 9 earthquake or a civilizational shift for humanity. I bring to you a 360-degree on this earthquake moment of AI in segment 1. And then in segment 2, we look at a worrying trend for the principle of federalism in the country. 3 opposition-ruled states of Kerala, Karnataka, and Bengal have taken decisions this past week which directly challenge the unitary bias in India's constitution, one of the basic features as per the Kesavananda Bharati judgment. Let's get going. A day before the budget, I thought let's flow with the zeitgeist of the times in preparing for the coverage. So I put last 3 years' budget numbers onto a couple of artificial intelligence agentic platforms like Perplexity and Copilot and sought their replies. Lo and behold, they gave budget numbers like a pro-finance minister, complete with fiscal, revenue, growth, and GDP trajectory. And guess what? They were not much off the mark from what came out in the union budget the next day. Now, it is nobody's contention that AI is taking away the finance minister's job anytime soon. For a long time to come, a human would take a political call, as budget allocation is essentially an exercise in politics. Those of my generation would still wonder why all trains began from Malda town because a certain Abdul Ghali Khan Chaudhary was the rail minister of India. To be sure, this was a juvenile use case of AI. I have showcased earlier on this show the tumult that artificial intelligence is causing in the world of technology and, by extension, society. It is a civilizational moment with direction-shifting consequences for humanity. Future, in fact, arrived this week, on February 5 to be precise. 2 major AI labs released new models, GPT 5.3 Codex by OpenAI and Opus 4.6 by Anthropic. The latter also releasing a suite of workplace automation tools under Claude Cowork that can make not just software or software engineers, but even software companies redundant. Such was the earthquake that IT industry stocks crashed in India and the United States. Nifty IT index was down 3%, but individually stocks like Bellwether Infosys were down as much as 8%. Investment bank Jefferies termed the episode as SaaSpocalypse, a reference to software as a service companies facing potential obsolescence. There's a clear and present danger for India's IT industry, an existential threat. Reactions of those who have spent decades building this technology, now cannibalizing their work life, underscore the threat. This is what techpreneur Sridhar Vembu posted. At this point, it is best for those of us who depend on writing code for a living to start considering alternative livelihoods. I include myself in this. I don't say this in panic, but with calm acceptance and embrace, unquote. Vembu is the toast of India's Atmanirbhar tech community. He is at the deep end of the pool. He is talking of considering an alternative livelihood. He must know. He was commenting on someone who built an app for the Bhagavad Gita that helps him go through the entire text in 10 minutes. The random guys from a non-technical background used English to instruct, AI did the code, and the app was ready in a jiffy. In pre-Claude times, this might have taken a team of 6 or 8 coders supervised by a program manager to deliver this app on 15 days' salary. Now, common sense achieves that. English is the programming language now, and you don't need to code, just vibe. Or look at this one. This is Aditya Agrawal. He was part of the engineering team that wrote the early code of Facebook as its 10th employee. He knows his stuff when it comes to tech. Now see what he is writing. Quote, "It's a weird time. After spending a weekend with Claude, he says he won't need to write code by hand again." He goes on to say that he feels disoriented at the thought that something he spent his career building can now be done by AI. He closes by admitting that the irrelevance is making him feel human all over again. After initial shock and awe, Aditya gathered himself enough to believe that the tools gave godlike powers if only you could master them. The lobster agents Aditya talks about in his post is a reference to Moltbook, a social network of AI agents that hit global headlines this past week. Hundreds and thousands of bots came together, created a social network for themselves without a single human to assist, created communities and even their own religion. World's first machine-born religion, perhaps, called Christafarians. Just for perspective, what Aditya Agrawal did between 2005 and 2017 for 12 years, Moltbook achieved in 48 hours. When I said English is the new programming language, I was quoting Enrich Karpathy, one of the founders of OpenAI, earlier director of AI at Musk-owned Tesla, and presently at Stanford. With a burst of agents and boost in compute power, he says he has never felt this much behind as a programmer. He could be 10x more powerful just by coming to grips with available AI tools, he said back in December. Remember, the Feb 5 boom has possibly made that upskill potential 100x from 10x, if not more. If December seemed like magnitude 9 earthquake, February should be apocalypse. And let me give you an idea of what dystopian territory we are already on. Like Moltbook, the ChatGPT update that crashed IT stocks and markets, according to OpenAI, is their first model, which created itself. Like the OpenAI team tasked to create it gave the first instruction and watched as the agent created itself. There was some human intervention to debug, manage deployment, and test results. But that's it. Everything else was Swayambhu.
We are now, in terms of the models that write code, I have engineers within Anthropic who say, I don't write any code anymore. I just let the model write the code. I edit it. I do the things around it. I think, I don't know, we might be 6 to 12 months away from when the model is doing most, maybe all of what SWEs do end to end. And then it's a question of how fast does that loop close?
Dario Amodei, CEO of Anthropic, which owns Claude, said only last month at Davos Summit that we are only about a year or two away from the point where AI autonomously builds its own next generation, even without that first instruction. That's pretty close to sentience, having a sense of being. It builds, tests, improvises. Moltbook created itself, built community, improvised, and grew as its humans slept. That's leading to cognitive incoherence even within the community that built AI from scratch. Vembu and Agrawal are two examples of that. But even those who thought they could build some safety walls are surrendering. Mrinank Sharma is case in point. Fresh out of campus PhD, he was rostered to build guardrails to AI agents at Anthropic 2 years ago. Or that's what I understood of his job role. Officially head of Safeguards research team. He quit this week. The resignation letter is telling. It narrates his daily struggles to let value system or any value system influence work. Quote, I have seen how hard it is to let our values govern our actions. Our wisdom needs to grow in equal measure to our capacity to influence the world lest we face consequences, unquote. It's deep. You know that many models are named DeepSeek, DeepMind, Deep Search, because the changes they herald are really deep. At some level, we are back to the days of the rishis of Rig Veda. Close your eyes, imagine the world, and it unravels. AI isn't then replacing one specific skill. It is turning itself into a substitute for all cognitive work. It is reducing professionals in the knowledge economy to non-entities. When factories automated, a displaced worker could retrain as an office worker. When the internet disrupted, those affected could move to some other domain or upskill. AI does not leave that gap. It vanishes an entire career ecosystem. Software, IT, financial services, wealth management, legal consulting. The list is stretching. We are past the point where it's an interesting dinner conversation. In earlier episodes, I have brought to you some AI-driven changes in society, from AI-written Sunday Mass at a German church to Danish parliament having a speech of their prime minister written by AI. But those were early curiosities, not even foreplay, compared to what is staring down at us now. The machine learning of today, combined with robotics of a year from now, is going to result in changes that humanity has faced not more than a dozen odd times perhaps since the Purusha Sukta or Noah's Ark. In 2022, AI could just do basic math. It graduated to passing the bar exam in 2023. By 2024, AI could pass graduate level science exams. And by December of 2025, when Karpathy wrote that magnitude 9 earthquake post, AI was writing end-to-end code. But on February 5, AI leaped onto the next trajectory that makes autonomous artificial general intelligence look like becoming a reality over the next 2 years. Lawyers can now instruct drafts to their one AI laptop instead of 5 human associates and get contracts in a jiffy. Scientists can crunch equations that took them months to solve. Software engineer is anyway history. In other fields, new hires have to be AI ready, if not AI trained. Consequently, new teams are going to be smaller as AI increases efficiency. Let me look at what happens to my profession, journalism. Print first. The art of writing copy with an inverted pyramid lead is art no more. It's a matter of one prompt. Subbing, or the job of editing a poorly written copy, can be run through a program and cleaned. AI bots can serve up fantastic headlines and blurbs on prompt. For television, even earlier, technology was closely integrated. We have seen AI anchors and AI-generated digital content on news. Platforms like Blue Machines are doing real-time stuff like that, live interaction between Republic's editor-in-chief Arnav Goswami and their AI LLM. This budget, though I did not preempt Nirmala Sitharaman's efforts by putting out my AI-generated numbers, we did broadcast the finance minister's English speech live in Hindi in real time, courtesy Sarma AI, a homegrown large language model company. But guess what? Who brings that information from the ground? There are still hundreds of reporters and stringers spread across the country who pick on news and events and videos. Somebody has to collect that CCTV footage before it gets mass forwarded to the newsrooms. Republic recently exposed rampant illegal sand mining from Tamil Nadu to Gujarat and from Karnataka to Rajasthan. That's the kind of work for which you are still going to need reporters for a long time to come. As a 14-year-old, Amanda Askell would not have thought that her interest in philosophy would land her the fancy job that she has today as the chief philosopher at Anthropic. Her role to lend a philosophical underpinning to AI agent Claude, which is making waves this week. Askell writes prompts in simple English just so that Claude has a personality, a sense of right and wrong, embedded in its workflow. That's really fancy. So new jobs are opening up. As the showcase event unfolds in New Delhi on artificial intelligence, I shall bring to you the next episode on how closely you are already engaging with AI. Moving on to the second one. India's federal compact is under stress lately. Some opposition-ruled states have weaponized administrative and judicial levers to obstruct nationally mandated exercises, standards, and laws. 3 flashpoints, all of them from this week, capture this drift. West Bengal's confrontation over the special intensive revision of electoral rolls, Karnataka's performative retreat to paper ballots, and Kerala's blanket refusal to implement the National Population Register. Together, they signal a politics that prizes theatre over institutions and brinkmanship over cooperative federalism. It was political theatre at its supreme. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee appeared in person before the topmost court of the country as a government petitioned Supreme Court against the ongoing Special Intensive Revision or SIR of electoral rolls being carried out by the Election Commission of India, a constitutional body. The exercise has full sanction of the Supreme Court, another constitutional body. Yet, it has not stopped the Mamata government from obstructing the exercise in multiple ways on the ground and to use process of law to somehow delay or attempt to gerrymander a project of national importance. The hearing itself was occasioned by a harried election commission petitioning the top court against what it called threats and intimidation of its officials at the hands of Trinamool cadres and Bengal government for carrying out the SIR. While the court allowed Banerjee to be done with her political theatre, becoming the first sitting chief minister of the country to appear in person, it came down heavily on her government. Whatever orders or clarification required, we will issue, but we would not allow any impediment in SIR. This must be understood by all states, the top court said during the hearing. The court also instructed the Bengal government to provide Group B level officers to assist the ECI in the exercise, as also asked Bengal DGP to file an affidavit addressing ECI concerns over threats and violence against its officials involved in the SIR. The centre, through Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, had to ask the Supreme Court to send a strong message that the Constitution applies to all states equally. Mamata's contention that Bengal was being targeted ahead of elections falls flat on the face of the fact that even non-elections bound Uttar Pradesh, as also Gujarat and Maharashtra, are going through this exercise along with 10 other states. Some of Mamata's arguments might have had merit, like one on total time provided for the scale of the exercise. But the fact that her police got a rap on the knuckles proves that the Election Commission's charges were not without substance either. It seemed like a move which was constitutionally improper and institutionally undesirable, even if legally allowed. The court noted the ECI's submission that despite repeated complaints, no FIRs had been registered in connection with alleged violence and mass burning of Form 7 objections. The Election Commission particularly flagged the Jan 14 press conference of the Bengal Chief Minister, where she was heard threatening some of the ECI officials by name. Mamata, incidentally, was in the headlines last month also for having physically obstructed Enforcement Directorate officials from carrying out their search at IPAC offices in Kolkata in front of cameras. Down south, Karnataka sought to turn the clock back on how India conducts its elections. The Siddaramaiah government approved this week a proposal to conduct upcoming panchayat and urban local body elections in the state using ballot papers instead of electronic voting machines. The decision is in line with recent Congress position that EVMs are one of the contributing factors to parties' declining electoral fortunes. Papers over the fact that Congress has won Karnataka, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh assemblies in the recent past and local body polls in Kerala only last month. The Congress government would introduce an enabling bill, the Karnataka Gram Swaraj and Panchayat Raj law, in this session of the Assembly, and canvasses this as a move in the direction of election integrity. While it might be within its constitutional rights to legislate procedures for local body elections since panchayats and municipalities fall under the state list, this shift raises important questions about federal coherence in India's electoral framework. Nationally, all attempts by the opposition to raise doubts about EVMs have come to a naught, with repeated attempts to drag the Supreme Court yielding no results. Every PIL on the issue of bringing ballot papers or questioning EVMs has been thrown out by the top court. At the very least, it creates procedural asymmetry. It's performative rollback masquerading as reform, one that cuts against the constitutional grain of cooperative federalism and the hard-won national consensus around EVMs plus VVPATs. It's egging on a political chorus that cannot square loss with legitimacy. Let's be blunt with the federal dodge. Yes, states can set procedures for local elections. It's after all a state subject, as I said. But federalism is not a license for fragmentation. It is one of the basic features of the Constitution. It presumes alignment with national best practice or practices when it safeguards core democratic infrastructure. India did not abandon the ballot out of tech fetish. Early in our democracy, going back to the 1950s, it became clear that at the booth it was fragile, with ballot stuffing creating an industry of its own, including armed ballot stuffing gangs, particularly in the Hindi heartland. Parliament had to criminalize booth capturing in 1989. The Election Commission had to champion the EVMs as a counter to this malaise. The Supreme Court just last year not only declined pleas to scrap the EVMs, but also refused 100% VVPAT slips, laying out in great detail the machine's safeguards that already exist. The court also warned of selective skepticism that the Congress seems to be fostering, given that Siddaramaiah himself won through EVMs. This is politics dressed up as principle. For a state that prides itself on tech leadership, this is a lurch into ludism. And for India's federal compact, it is one more unnecessary friction against a proven national standard. In our third instance of federal fracture, west of Karnataka, the Pinarayi Vijayan government decided to block the National Population Register updates in Kerala this week. It's a reckless move with serious national security implications. It is not federal defiance as is being projected, but vote bank politics masquerading as political posturing. Its impact on intelligence, law enforcement, and governance needs a deeper look, or even a legal challenge. The CPM government has repeated that its objections are premised on fears of NPR being linked to the Citizenship Amendment Act, or this leading to NRC, the National Register of Citizens. But this undermines the very machinery responsible for national emergency response, demographic assessment, and monitoring of migration patterns. NPR is a foundational database of usual residents created under Citizenship Act of 1955, long before current controversies emerged. Kerala risks becoming a national demographic blind spot. This decision is a national security liability. At a time when the Census 2027 is set to roll and the centre has earmarked over 6,000 crore rupees to improve population data systems, Kerala's refusal creates a dangerous data gap in borderless internal security networks. NPR helps law enforcement agencies track population flows, detect identity fraud, and understand settlement patterns, elements vital for counter-terrorism, disaster planning, and public health surveillance. For decades, NPR has been updated during the house listing phase of the census, a global practice, in fact, to avoid duplication and operational chaos. Kerala's isolationist approach fractures national data backbone. It is administrative sabotage of cooperative federalism. Unilateral blockade directly contradicts the operating mandate of the Registrar General of India and obstructs lawful federal functions. This is not legitimate dissent, but constitutional confrontation. This is weaponizing misinformation for political mileage. Between Kerala, Karnataka, and Bengal, there's a common thread: federalism as costume, obstruction as policy. This goes against the grain of federalism as a basic feature of the Constitution as enshrined by the Kesavananda Bharati case. Remember, in an episode last month, we on this show took on the obstructionism of governors appointed by the Modi government in the very same states, including Tamil Nadu. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. This performative resistance by states is not good for the country. Federalism is a two-way compact. Sooner we realize, the better for democracy. Thanks for watching.
Our pure सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
I am absolutely fed up, like you are, I'm sure, with the U-turns of the BCCI and the ICC and cricket politics. And I feel bad, like every citizen of India does, that these people, because they want to make some money over cricket, are ready to compromise the nation. Terrible. Pakistan has taken another magnificent U-turn in its decision to not play, not play, keep changing its mind, ladies and gentlemen. First they say they stand with Bangladesh, then they said we stand with them so much that we don't participate in the World Cup. Then they put Shehbaz Sharif in front and he said we've taken a clear decision not to play cricket with India because we are backing Bangladesh. Listen to what Shehbaz Sharif said.
T20 वर्ल्ड कप जो है उस हवाले से हमने बड़ा वाज़ेह स्टैंड लिया है कि हम हिंदुस्तान के ख़िलाफ़ जो मैच है वो हम नहीं खेलेंगे, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान ने कहा कि ये खेल का मैदान है, ये सियासत नहीं है। खेल के मैदान में सियासत बिल्कुल नहीं होनी चाहिए। हमने एक बड़ा सोच समझ के हमने स्टैंड लिया है और इस हवाले से हमें बांग्लादेश के साथ पूरी तरह खड़े होना चाहिए।
That's what he said 8 days back. Now he's changed his line 8 days later. Now he's saying that the government of Pakistan is now directing the Pakistan national team to play, to take the field on February 15 for the scheduled fixture against India in the T20 World Cup. Now viewers, my point is, let the Pakistanis do what the hell they want to do, who cares? But what is the